back to work, back to play.
Yeah, so went to go play Fresno State in a baseball game on Tuesday. Today's Thursday. Taking batting practice, and it was just, I took probably 50 to 75 swings, and 10 or 15 swings in, I just started to feel like I just had nothing in my left arm. After every swing, I'd be finishing, and like it would just, I'd come out of the cage and be achy, like barely be able to raise it up. And pretty much tried to Theragun, roll out, ibuprofen, stretch, anything to get it to just loosen up and be able to let the swing go. And game didn't feel like I was getting to the ball. And then practice yesterday, I went through a full lift and did everything I could think of to release the trap, release the pec, bicep, tricep, strengthen, everything.
One of the things you said, you've been coming here for a little while, it is if you kind of stabilize the scap down and back.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So after the game, I was just on the bus on the way home, kind of trying to lift it and feel where I had strength and didn't. And then I realized, I was kind of in a rounded forward position. Even when I tried to have good posture, I couldn't really activate my scap. So just for a while, just kind of holding the scap and trying to breathe into it, I was able to get it to where I felt like my shoulder's in the right spot, and then I could move it in full range of motion without any pain.
So let's go through a few of these muscles and see what's working, what isn't. So if we hold that there, just kind of testing those big muscles in the back. That doesn't work at all. Hold that there. That doesn't work here. That doesn't work very well. This over your head, like that, I'm going to pull forward. It doesn't work. The thing that probably works is the posterior delt, because that's the one, as you pull it back and kind of stabilize it, it has a better hold. So it can actually do more of the work. Otherwise, you're a little forward, and then that's coming from the biceps, from the pec, from the mid and the anterior deltoid. If you lie face up, if we look at your chest muscles, hold that there. That doesn't work. And here, and obviously you're a strong dude. So sit up and face that way. The thing that was working was this posterior delt. And if I start to traction your shoulder, because what I think happened is when you swung back, you jammed this shoulder in because you went so far back and the muscles weren't able to stabilize it anymore. Mm-hmm. So when I sort of open that up and take it apart, then this muscle, which did work, doesn't work at all. But the good thing is these muscles are now doing their job. And this is called a compression injury, impaction injury. So that feels way, way stronger. Hold. So we need to make it, because if you now kind of stress it out, like you swing a little bit, then it's going to shut right down and you have no strength again. So to get this working, I want you to lie down, put your head right here. We're going to use the table to do some of the work now. Head here, face up. And for this, I need to open up that joint. The table's loud. It's going to come up. And out. Perfect. Okay, now sit up, face me over here. Straight test. So now this one, which didn't work before, is way better. And if we drop it back to the only one that worked, it now works. Hold that there. Good. And then the only other one we saw was this. Hold. And that feels a lot better. Yeah. And then that's way better. Way better. And now do your swing. Show me how that, like just tell me if it feels any different.
Yeah, I can it's loose. Like it can go all the way to where the bat would be on the ground instead of where, like here, it would just get caught, and then I would feel everything like I was ripping. I honestly thought I had like torn my labrum or had a bicep tear or something. How sore my bicep was.
Yeah, this pain can be super intense, and it's one of those things that most trainers and chiros and therapists, even orthopedists with imaging, get thrown off by, because if we did an image, there would be no tear.
Yeah.
There might actually be an old tear for you because you've had a ton of
no doubt.
playing. But that's not really the injury. The injury is a result of this joint kind of being jammed in too far, and as we get it back to where it needs to be, those sensors can fire the way they should. But whenever we're dealing with the shoulder, we need to look at, hold that there, how the neck is doing. Hold that right there. And this doesn't work. When I touch this joint, try to keep this up, like there's no strength at all. But if I go to another joint, things are really, really strong, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're going to adjust this joint. And a little movement here. Cool. Awesome. Awesome. So before we started, you kind of moved your neck around in a crack. There's no way you would have reset that joint because it was so locked up.
Yeah.
So the pop that you heard was the one above it.
Yeah.
And that area feels like it's moving really well. So what you're doing is you're actually getting too much mobility above that joint that's locked because you keep kind of doing those things. Hold that there, and that's super common. Push. Because if you think of your spine as like a bike chain with lots of different links, if you just move a bike chain, it's not going to free up a locked link. It's going to move above and below that lock segment. Push. Awesome. Yeah, this is so much better. I'm excited to see how you play in Portland this weekend. And thanks so much for letting us record.
Thank you.
Subscribe Proactive Chiropractic.